Hello guys, we will start studying a new story entitled Paul Bunyan.
Paul Bunyan by Mary Pope Osborne. Illustrations by Harvey Chan. Question of the week. What causes changes in nature?
Genre. Tall tales are humorous stories with characters who have superhuman abilities. As you read, think about how the exaggerated details help explain many of the natural features of the American frontier. It seems an amazing baby was born in the state of Maine. When he was only 2 weeks old, he weighed more than 100 pounds. And for breakfast every morning, he ate 5 dozen eggs, 10 sacks of potatoes, and a half-barrel of mush made from a whole sack of cornmeal. But the baby's strangest feature was his big, curly black beard. It was so big and bushy that every morning his poor mother had to comb it with a pine tree. Except for that beard, the big baby wasn't much trouble to anybody until he was about 9 months old. That was when he first started to crawl. And since he weighed over 500 pounds, he caused an earthquake that shook the whole town. When the neighbors complained, the baby's parents tried putting him in a giant floating cradle off the coast of Maine. But soon, a delegation of citizens went to the baby's parents and said, "We're sorry, folks, but you have to take your son somewhere else. Every time he rolls over in his cradle, huge waves drown all the villages along the coast." So his parents hauled the giant toddler to a cave in the Maine woods, far away from civilization, and said goodbye. "We'll think of you often, honey," his mother said, weeping. "But you can't come back home. You're just too big." "Here, son," his father said. "I'm giving you my axe, my knife, my fishing pole, and some flint rocks. Goodbye, and good luck." After his parents left, the poor bearded baby cried for 30 days and 30 nights. He was so lonely, he cried a whole river of tears. He might have cried himself to death if one day he hadn't heard flop, flop, flop. When the baby looked around, he saw fish jumping in his river of tears. He reached for his father's fishing pole, and soon he was catching trout. He used his father's knife to clean and scale what he had caught, and his father's axe to cut wood for a fire. He started the fire with his flint rocks and cooked his catch over the flames. Then he ate a big fish dinner and smiled for the first time in a month. That's the story of how Paul Bunyan came to take care of himself in the Maine woods. And even though he lived alone for the next 20 years, he got along quite well. He hunted and fished. He cut down trees and made fires. He battled winter storms, spring floods, summer flies, and autumn gales.
So this is a story about an amazing baby who is later we know him as Paul Bunyan. He wasn't a normal baby. He has like a long beard and he's still a baby and he was very huge. He used to eat a lot and he caused a lot of problems in his village because of his size. Then his parents were forced to put him in a cave away from the village and they said goodbye and good luck. Later, after Paul suffered for about a month, he learned how to live in the woods, in the forest, in the jungle alone, how to fish, how to set fire, and how to live in hard conditions. So this is the end of the lesson of today. I hope the story hooked you and you like it. We will continue the story later. What I want you to do, to read it very well, choose one of those two pages and record yourself reading them. All right, have a lovely day and goodbye.